and see if it does what I need it to, and it did. So there was that character with the face. You got to really think, okay, where are the eyes going to go, and the proportion of the nose and the mouth, how far away from the nose is the mouth, and then the lip underneath the mouth, and then each piece is connected. That's the way I draw. So you start off with something like this is going to be an eyeball, and then we're going to draw this eye here. I'm going to keep them a little further apart. Now I'm thinking of a creature, so I'm going to start giving them teeth. This is the easiest way to get the teeth down. Just do a single line zigzag, and then come back in. You can just erase there, and then I'm going to really start focusing on what I'm drawing now. So we're going to, now that I got the introduction out of the way, we're just going to give this guy a couple bags under his eyes, and we're going to make him, he's got to be kind of upset. So these lines indicate his brow in a compressed position. And then here's the top of his head. I'm going to give him horns, so he's like a monster. Monsters don't all need horns, but it's a pretty neat way to show that he's dangerous right away. You wouldn't want to get yourself caught on those horns, because that could be dangerous. So then we'll see how everything's being connected here, and see how I like to finish off the lines and add things to what's already there. That's a skill that you'll learn if you're just starting out, where you build on what you had there before. Like here I'm trying to visualize his lower jaw. This can be tricky. This takes practice, so you want to visualize and keep it so it makes sense. You don't want it, that side is the trickiest part. And then you want to visualize how a jaw works on your own face. Does the jaw go straight down, or does it tilt and then opens up at a tilt? So try to visualize that as you're drawing. You don't have to draw the bones, but think of the way things work. That'll help you out with the jaw, and of course everything else that you could try to draw. So I'm not going to draw the whole body here. I'll just draw the upper shoulder, and here's the side of the mouth. I'm going to go further out, because if I go too close to that jaw, they'll have a small face. So I want to give them a little more what's the word? A little more volume. So here's his nostrils, because he's got to breathe. You don't always have to put nostrils on your character. And nostrils tend to make the character, in other words, look a little more gruesome. If you want to make him look like a monster, or like, you wouldn't want to put nostrils on a cartoon too often, because the lines are so powerful that it can overwhelm the softness of the nose that you were going for. But with a monster, you definitely want the monster's nostrils to really stand out. So that's why those thicker lines do the job really well. So with teeth, you could leave the teeth as they are, or you could come in and add these little lines. And these lines give it a sense of texture, as though they're a little bit irregular in the way the surface of the tooth is. So let's draw a quick line here to just seal it all up, because when you press paint, with the paint bucket, it needs a seal. If you have a hole, it's going to cause a problem. So here's the guy's arm. This monster's arm, and I'll give him a couple spikes on his arm. That's the thing. You could make up anything you want. It doesn't have to make sense. So with all these little accents and muscles, I'm just making it up as I go. I have some sense of the way, of course, a human has their bones and their muscles over their bones and the tendons and all that, and then the skin over that. So that helps a little bit, but I was never formally trained, and had to teach myself the basic structure of it all as I grew up. Of course, as a cartoonist, you could just ignore all that, although life drawing does help for posing of your character. You can get some really cool poses by studying motion and how things move and how people move, and it'll really help your drawings. So most of this is going to be drawing monsters, which is my favorite thing to draw. Monsters. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to draw dragons and Star Wars and all that stuff. So here's the tongue, but that's a traditional color for a tongue. Let's give him tongue that matches the green skin. You don't want to make it too dark, because then you'll lose the sense of the black lines in there. These eyes, I don't know, I'm going to get rid of that. Let's try some other tone for his eyes. Let's fill this in first though, and then here's the brush tool. They have a calligraphy tool, but I just use this brush because it's got a nice feather to it. Just feather it out and you get a better flick to the line that way, from my experience on this program. If I went into that photo editor program and tried to draw like this, it doesn't capture the lines like this does. That's what I really like about this pencil. Normally I would take a piece of paper, draw on that, then scan that into the computer, and that takes forever, and then you gotta pull it into the editor and then go from there. So we're going to come back to this guy and center him here and then give him some shading. And the shading in this program here is pretty tricky, because if you go over the black line, you lose the black line. In the photo editor, you could adjust the opacity to 50%, and you'll keep the black line. So that's something. See how it just went over those black lines? So I'm doing this now just to give you a look. I think this will be the guy I'll go to later, and of course fill him in and give all the shading to this character with the colors. It's almost like a pretty scary looking monster. One you wouldn't want staring at you as you were trying to go to sleep in the corner of the room in the dark, with the orange eyes glowing, the little red pupils staring at you. That'd be kind of scary. And then give them some reflections off the